This is Alex Eala's moment. Our dinners, our evenings are fixated when she's playing. That's real tennis fan.
For a $1.06 million WT 500, Alex Eala travels to Washington, D.C., where the air outside the William H.G. The Fitzgerald Tennis Center is already making a noise that the competition hasn't heard in a long time. Red, white, and blue flags, but not American ones. 72 hours later, supporters are lining fences for 3 suns and 3 stars. Against Jasmine Paolini, their hero sobbed as he left center court. She didn't return home. She boarded a plane. On July 27th, she will enter one of the deepest fields the DC Open has ever put together. You are already familiar with this channel if you have been following Alex Eala since the Miami Marathon, Madrid, or Berlin, is where the true Filipino tennis lovers congregate. Join us by subscribing to comprehend the reason behind this arrival. Firstly, go back 4 days to the Wimbledon round of 16 on July 6th. Eala loses to Paolini 4-6-6-4-3-6, the deepest a Filipina has ever. In the open period, it was a grand slam. She left center court to a standing ovation, according to The Guardian. Then on Instagram on July 7th. Everything at Wimbledon is serious, according to the one-word caption. Monday was that day, Wednesday. She was in Washington. It is not a WTA 500 field that awaits her, it's a WTA 1000 field. A smaller badge. 7 of the top 20 players in the world are in this draw, according to the WTA's July 3rd announcement. Alina Svitolina, the same Svitolina Eala destroyed in Berlin 3 weeks prior, is now planning to get retribution. Former DC finalist Marta Kostyuk, 2-time U.S. Open champion Naomi Osaka, who is still trying to regain her prominence. Leylah Fernandez, the reigning champion who lifted the trophy, and Venus Williams, 46, who continues to take center stage. The same award in 2025. Then there's the clock. In Cincinnati 12 months ago, Eala's shoulder went out under the burden of a consecutive timetable. The tennis world keeps it in mind. The tennis community is subtly inquiring whether a 21-year-old can have a quick look on grass and then, in 3 weeks, take another look on hard courts in North America. History says no. In 2026, Alex Eala has worked to rewrite history. Start with the cash. The Washington Women's Prize Pool is $1,064,510. When hospitality is taken into account, the total tournament commitment exceeds $1.6 million. This is not a salary for a player who, just a year ago, was ranked outside of the top 140 worldwide. This is a range of life. And she didn't enter it covertly. And Washington, D.C., the WTA confirmed 20 direct main draw entry. One of them is Eala. Not a wild card. No handout, no favor. With Wimbledon points, her current ranking of 32 is set to rise in July 14th, purchased a seat at this table. At first, some Filipino media sites said she was a wild card. The WTA's own statement stated different. Now think about how she earned the door. June should be compressed into a single breath. June 17th, Berlin. She defeats Elena Rybakina, ranked 10th in the world, 7-5-6-4. On June 18th, in Berlin, she defeated Alina Svitolina 6-3-6-4. On their turn, a 5-time Grand Slam semi-finalist and a Wimbledon champion faced off on grass. Then, on July 4th, Wimbledon, round of 32. Defending champion Iga Swiatek crosses the net. Eala prevails 7-6-6-2. She has defeated Swiatek twice in her career. Wimbledon, defeating Iga Swiatek is not an accident. Because you belong, you beat her. Following the game, she took the microphone and said something that Filipino Twitter became a national text. It is not appropriate to denigrate oneself in court. That isn't an inspiring statement. Her mentor has been teaching her this same change and reconditioning for months. Examine the pattern. Welcome to Madrid's viral airport. Paris, welcome to the viral airport. Documented crowd scene from Bad Homburg was distributed all over Filipino social media. On June 29th, the LA Times ran a piece about Wimbledon that focused on the grounds are ringing with fervent Filipino support. Washington does not deviate from this trend. The logical next chapter is, and one of the densest groups of Filipino Americans in the nation is found in the DMV region. If her recent travels offer any indication, Fitzgerald's fences are already being filled. For all Filipino fans who have been informing co-workers throughout the past 2 years, The world is no longer keeping up with Alex Eala's name. The world has arrived. All of this has a purpose. Is taking place simultaneously. The man who guided Rafael Nadal to 22 Grand Slam victories is named Tony Nadal, the creator of perhaps the best clay court career in the history of the sport. The leader of the Mallorcan Academy, where Alex Eala has been training since she was 13, additionally, in 2026, as reported by Tennis 365 and verified by head coach Joan. Tony Bosch has taken on a direct, hands-on mentoring role in Eala's growth, and Eala's own words regarding that collaboration. Cited early on by Tennis 365, Tony told me things earlier this year that I didn't want to hear but had to. He has publicly stated that she has a lot of potential in both her personality and her game. That isn't a polite remark. From a passing legend. That is Tony Nadal's decision on the second phase of his coaching career. Rafael Nadal has reportedly intervened to give her tactical advice, according to Yahoo Sports. Through Joan Bosch this season, Rafael Nadal doesn't focus on players who won't matter. They are placing bets on her. The first hard-court test of what that wager has created is Washington. Take a look at what's on the other side of this 2-week period. Cincinnati in August, the U.S. Open in New York, and Montreal at the National Bank Open. On August 24th. This isn't just one competition. This runway has the potential to propel Alex Eala into the WTA's top 20 for the first time in Philippine history. And Washington is the one that initiates that runway for a cause. The tennis center is a few blocks away from the Philippine Embassy. The United States diplomatic corridor encircles this event. This week, she is more than just a player as she steps onto a practice court, and the strictest sense, she is a diplomatic presence. A 21-year-old Manila resident flying a flag around the nation's political capital with the tennis is the most significant Filipino diaspora in the globe. This is growing commercially in Southeast Asia. The WTA's prize money increased by 13% year. Events like as the DC Open are precisely being made more profitable, because they are becoming important to markets they were previously unable to reach thanks to players like Alex Eala. Each fence line she sketches. The reason the checks are getting bigger is because of every jersey in the stands. She is expected to be among the top 25 players if she advances to the semifinals. Prior to the commencement of Montreal. If she wins, this becomes a career rather than a fairy tale. On paper, there is one aspect that prevents this from being a coronation. Her most recent match ended in defeat. Paulini. The largest stage of her life, 3 sets, center court, and the second set, she was ahead. In the third, she was unable to close. For some gamers, that takes a week to digest. A few athletes take flights home, and Tagalog, Alex Eala posted 7 words. As well as English. Everything. Greetings, Wimbledon, thank you for everything. And boarded a plane heading west within 48 hours. What that says about her can be explained without the necessity for a narrator. She's already mentioned it. Go back in time by 1 month. Rybakina in consecutive sets. Vitolina in straight sets. Swiatek at Wimbledon, speaking with her father on the phone. In a Berlin court that she made no attempt to conceal on center court, there was a standing ovation and Instagram caption with just one word that 115 million Filipinos read this as a thank you prayer. Now, with boots on the ground in Washington, D.C., as a direct main draw entrant in one of the deepest WTA 500 lineups ever put together. Not a wild card. Just ranking, no favor. The player that came in Miami as a qualifier is not the same as the Alex Eala who arrived in Washington. It was 18 months ago. Tony Nadal selected her as a player. She is the player that Iga Swiatek was unable to defeat on grass. The diaspora in Washington has been yearning for a player like her. Does she make it to the Washington semifinals? Or does she face a top 20 seed in the first round due to Wimbledon fatigue? Please share your guess below. Which draw would you like to see her receive? If you have been following Alex Eala since Madrid or the Miami run, you are well aware that the true Filipino tennis lovers congregate on this channel since Berlin. Stay in this circle by subscribing with us because every ranking point, Washington, D.C., Montreal, Cincinnati, and the first chapter of a 3-tournament run. From Fitzgerald to Flushing Meadows, every attraction and throng will be broken down here first. The community spotted her before the rest of the world did. Let's complete the task at hand.